Shus for Rosh Yeshiva Shlita Yidai, tremendous Talmidei Chacham, and I want to really say thank you to the yeshiva, to the Talmidim of the yeshiva. Many years ago when I was in Minneapolis, so we were post-seed program vote. Years ago, the first seed program, Rav Gabriel Ginsberg's outside, a cousin in our family, started the first seed program in Minneapolis, Minnesota, maybe 45 years ago. But at this stage in time, when I became the Rav there, the community was growing. We had 40, 50 yeshiva bachrim going to different yeshivas all over the country, the world. So we really didn't have a formal seed program. What used to happen is that bachrim, wherever they were learning, Yisrael, Riverdale, Peekskill, Torah Tamima, Chafetz Chaim, they would bring their friends. And one time it looked like it was going to be outrageous. 29 bachrim coming on a seed program that they paid the airfare. They found places for themselves to eat and to sleep. I told my wife, what's happened to us? She said something that really hit home. Any time you see more B'nai Torah walking through the streets of Minneapolis, it's a schus for the community. I want to tell you, this is 6 years that I'm here. When I came, the Midas Taivas of Chafetz Chaim, this yeshiva, Parish Yisrael, was legendary. And parents told me they sent him because of the Midas Taivas. But the Halach Yelech of you Bachar, I know many of you, some that are here, some that have gone on to yeshiva in Queens, other Mekanis HaTorah, such edelkeit. The B'nai Torah that look like B'nai Torah, now you walk in, the white shirts and the black pants, look like Panavish, what it tells me of everybody. But I've seen you during the week, I've seen you Beit Dvarim, I've seen you Beit Zmanim. You all have a tremendous surah of B'nai Torah. So of course I compliment the Rosh Yeshiva Shlita, but I also thank you, because it infuses Flatbush with a tremendous chashivas to Torah and to derech eretz and mitzvahs. And I've seen many things by many of you, so Pasha, it makes my job much easier and much more enjoyable. I want to thank you. I'm going to speak a few moments about ona'as dvarim. The concept of ona'as dvarim is to verbally distress people with words. There's different kinds of physical or emotional assaults on someone else. Ona'as dvarim means you can't insult somebody. You can't distress somebody verbally. Now the chinuch in the mitzvah gives several examples of ona'as dvarim. Deceptively leading someone into an embarrassing situation. That's considered ona'as dvarim. Even innuendo. But what happens if you do nothing? What happens if you're over ona'as dvarim by passively doing nothing? Not through commission, but through omission. Are you also over the law of ona'as dvarim? Does it have to be b'dibur, b'maaseh, or can it even be with a shevel taisa that you're over on ona'as dvarim? This shaila, Chikrei Leiv asks in Yoredei Chelek Gimel, Shuva Pei. It was a guy who lived in Salonika, Greece. His name was of Yosef Alevi Chazan. Let's say you cause distress to someone in an entirely passive manner. Are you able to understand it? So he had a fascinating child that come his way, and he brought a raya from Numches, from Yosef Yabam Mitzvah. Weiss the Chais in Salonika, the minute was, the Shleach Tzibur was called the Chazan, and his salary was for the Mishnah, which means when a person would get an Aliyah L'Torah, he'd make a Mishnah for the fellow, for his family, and for his friends. Babu Shinoda, X amount of dollars, and that's what his salary, where it came from. It was a fellow who he had a beautiful, exquisite mishaberach to, and the fellow said a certain amount of money he's giving, Babu Shinoda, whatever the amount was, drachmas, whatever it was in Greek, he never paid up. And after several times of reminding him that he owes this amount, the recalcitrant menader, Chazan got angry, and he took a shvur. He said an oath, I will never mention his name in a Mishnah. His father-in-law, his brother-in-law, his friends, his family, they give a mishaberach for 50 people. I will never include his name in the mishaberach. The shaila is that fall into the category of ona'as. Mitzad, it's passive. He's not doing anything. It's not even an innuendo. Some even want to say, believe it or not, the achronim, that if you scowl at something, that could be considered an dvarim, unless of course you give it a Muslim. But if you scowl at the fellow, it could be an dvarim. So the shaila is he didn't do anything. He's just taking a shvur. He doesn't plan on doing it. But mitzat sheni, the net result is the person is insulted and hurt. Could you imagine? I'll never hear his name mentioned in anybody's mishaberach. So the crux of the shaila is an amasa mashakasav b'Torah is making a shvur connected b'Torah. If there's an isra of ona'as dvarim, so the shvur is not chal. So the Yitkoi Lieff paskin, it's ona'as dvarim, and the shvur is not chal. And this was his right. Mamish from this sugya of ona'as dvarim in the Test. Mishnah the Gemara Bava Metzia with Chesed and Pain cites several examples of what we refer to today as verbal abuse. One is if a person starts nudging a merchant how much an item costs if he doesn't intend to purchase. That's a ona'as dvarim. You walk into a store, you don't intend on buying it, and he asks the fellow how much it is. That's a ona'as dvarim. You is maisiv. You shouldn't even eye merchandise. You don't have the money with you. Now he doesn't say anything. There's no verbal abuse. He said nothing to the individual. Since, says the Yitkoi Lieff, according to Rabbi Yehuda, this is included in the issue of ona'as dvarim, of verbally distressing somebody. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it applies even when no words are said. And the halacha, the sheet of Rabbi Yehuda, is accepted by many positions. In fact, Chinuch Halein brings this halacha l'maisa. The Sefer Yereim that I quoted before says that based on this halacha of not window shopping when you have no money on you, it's also to look at somebody with a scowl, except where there's a reprimand for Muslim. The male of paskin, the Yitkoi Lieff halacha. In this case, this oath, this shvur contravenes das Torah, Dvar Torah, and the male is worthless. It can make a mishnah. So you see, halacha l'maisa, according to the Yitkoi Lieff, that ona'as dvarim is not even saying anything. It's through omission. You didn't do anything. I'm just saying I'm not going to do something, and that's already a shvur. Negative. But l'maisa, halacha, it's not so pashut. If you look at the chinuch, clearly, chinuch seems to say the opposite. But in this case, it's not a deraisa. It's a minor chazal. So somebody says to a soicha, how much is this item? Then he says that Chazal gave asharis, admonitions, who went to great lengths, says the chinuch, in cautioning about this matter. The Mele Chinuch says, because of that, you shouldn't even gaze upon merchandise if you have no money on you. Clearly, And Mr. Gemara in Pesachim, and after a few days, YTY Lieff brings this down. This cases among three things Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yossi cautioned Rebbe to avoid these types of cases, but he cautioned him to avoid it by saying, Meister to Seftem of Mitzir, that Yehuda's quoted as saying, you can't look upon merchandise, how much does it cost? The kids there's all alumnus over there of slight nuances and distinctions between the case of Mishnah and this case. But it does seem clear that according to the YTY Lieff, it's an Issa Derais. And according to Chazal, it's something to stay away from. Now, the Chazan was angry, and the Mela went ahead and said, oh, sure. He's never going to, at any time, make a Mishnah. Is that proper action? Is that what the Rebbe Mishnah wants? And it's not a derisive. It's sicher not something the Rabbanim want. If you can't do window shopping, you can't walk into a store without the intention of buying, even without money in your pocket. You're going to buy it, but you don't have any money in your pocket. That's also an ona'as. See how far this goes. The moment that the is vash, listen closely to what I say, because I'm not giving a header for bullying or pummeling. Listen to what I'm saying. It's one of those things you have to listen to the entire piece, not just the beginning or the end. It's the entire piece. Straight in the Torah and Pashas Mishpat. Here, Reuben Anosh. He Keishas Re'eu be'evan be'egroi v'nafal l'mishpat. The conclusion is Rak Shifta Ite B'Rab. It's going to be an altercation. And one gets so furious that he hits his friend. It's so interesting that Torah always calls things Re'eu. It's because Shara, Amisel. We're talking about this house now. My friend. Every year it has to view the next year as Re'eu. So he hits him with a stone or with his fist. TKO. He knocks him unconscious. Pay for the time that he's incapacitated. Show me Kishuit. And pay for the doctor. So if you're Yiddish and Irish, read between the lines of the text. Here, there notion, there's two ways you can have a fight. No altercation. From our eyes, on the eyes. Either you're going to hit him, you're going to verbally abuse him, you're going to insult him, you're going to embarrass him. It's over my. It's better to hit him instead of not going to be back. If you insult him, it's never going to be back. We're not giving sanction to do something. In our society, you hit somebody, you go to jail. You abuse him. Verbally, you insult him, you humiliate him, you're a comedian. Then yet you're a politician. So to tell you, it's like toothpaste. You know what Shana is? Let's say you get a tube of toothpaste. The old variety doesn't come to you with a battery. About toothpaste, you have to fetch. Go to a fellow and say, I want you to fetch out all the toothpaste. Every vestige of toothpaste has to come out of the tube. 20 minutes. And he's twirling the toothpaste, pressing it and pinching it. There's nothing left. Give him 20. They say, okay, here's $1,000. Get back. It's never going to happen. $10,000. Never going to get back. That's all she knows. That's a nice thought. It's verbally abusing someone. Those words will never be tracked. There's no rocky around. And it's so easy to get your reaction. No, everybody's going to start being such a knocker. We should know that $10 million, no one's giving a penny. And what does he say to everybody? I'm not making you should know that. Go to another shul, go to another chazan. I'm not going to do it for you. He's overly Issa the rice according to the YTY Lieff. Passively, he's still over the Issa the rice. But no, so the Torah is chai. Go to the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, and take feather pillows and dump out 10,000 feathers. Now collect them. Once the words are out, technology can record sounds hundreds of thousands of miles away. That's so nuanced. Lord, this is the yeshiva. You learn the longest. You learn the late. This is practice. Allah l'maisa. El mechaveru. Yes, Lord Rav Moshe Tuvia Lieff. I don't know what times many is, but in many places, so let's come over. Is able to see the shloig elachai. That's it. That's so. Sachin, Shabbos, something the kids can relate to. Rav Moshe goes up. Children learn able to see the shloig elachai. This belongs to me. This has to return. This has a simon. This doesn't have a simon. This is mine. This is not mine. Drill into fifth graders things in life that they own. It's property to know that I have to safeguard, return. That's the way it is with physical property. Imagine what somebody else's field. That's the sugya we lost for it. A father will learn about halach, shkaf, understanding of who you are, who your re'eu is. One china being Hashem. Careful, you have to be, but not insulting hurting somebody else's feelings. This is the training ground for life. In yeshiva, all the things that go on in high school and base medrash, a person is able to look away, bite his tongue, not to scowl. Your Rebbe says you can be over on a last forum just by scowling at something. Always smiling, even though your heart is breaking. Imagine as life goes on, you become more mature and more developed. What kind of incredible people you'll be. You know many of the Talmidim in this yeshiva. Very close to many of them. The fellow here is known as Oz. And he's a vile and health. Or is it exactly? The tremendous downfall, where did it come from? Came from either slavery, came from caring for the people, came from accepting God's Torah. You're living with your tremendous rabbi and regular Rosh Yeshiva, and get common flow, good ashras. Connect to them, learn from them. Don't let them get away. Don't allow yourselves to get away from them, the Rosh Yeshiva's life. Silly fellas that seem to forget where their roots are. You know that it's Akbush, war, a lot of things that entice us to get away from the Gemara. You can draw them away from Avodas Hashem. Rosh Yeshivas are examples. You lost them, the heels, the bread, the state. The Gemara Kedushin Naflam, in Moshchei Menuvel Zeh, in Pogam Menuvel Zeh, Moshchei Lebeis HaNefesh. The degenerate gets grabs hold of you, swept him into the business. Why do you want to take the Yitzhar into the business? You don't want the Yitzhar in. Stay in Times Square and the Torah should be there. Just run to the basement. There it is. You need the Yitzhar. Because you need to learn from the Yitzhar how to learn a black Gemara. You need to learn from the Yitzhar how to be Geschmack in the mitzvah. Geschmack in chesed and stuff. Moshchei Lebeis HaNefesh take all that motivation, this seduction, people, bring them into the Beis Medrash and learn them in such a way. Spend a few minutes talking about Birchas HaTorah. According to the Ramban, Birchas HaTorah is a mitzvah seder atzma. Ramban, mitzvah Zion, brings the Gemara in Brachos on Daf Chav Aleph. Yishem Hashem Ekro v'Gotla v'Lekeinu. The same way by Birchas HaMazon. After you eat, you give Shlach v'Yod HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'Chalta v'Savot HaTorah. Similarly, before you learn Torah, is Birchas HaTorah, which the Ramban classifies Oidah, Shvach v'Oidah, V'Sitoi Torah Se'elim. Act of giving Torah warrants Oidah. Ramban says the same way, bringing the dvarim is a separate mitzvah. Bringing the item is a separate mitzvah than the Arabic and the Ovi, reciting the liturgy. And Korban Pesach is different than Simchas Yom Mitzrayim. There's two mitzvahs. One's called Birchas HaTorah, one mitzvah is called Limud. The person says Birchas HaTorah according to the Ramban, became one of the Taryag mitzvahs, mitzvah of Shvach V'Dov, Siti Keros Yerim, giving us. The Rambam doesn't learn that way. He's mashma the mitzvah because it says he holds smach. What does the Rambam hold? In Sivan Mem Zayin and Shulchan Aruch, Goyim Peis Yudches Ira Gro is the kash on the Ogur. Ogur says Nashim Levarach Ha'is Birchas HaTorah. Women also make a bracha on Birchas HaTorah. But the Goyim that Sivach Krob Shnab whatever, what do they say? There's no chiyuv for Nashim to make a bracha. How could they say she could chant with its face of its Sivach? And with the Goyim, Ogur probably won't look at it. Fila Einim Mitsuva Voice and makes the bracha. Nashim that not Mitsuvas, not Chiyavos in Zman Gromet. Your mother, your sister, your daughter picks up. Your wife picks up the woman Esrei. She makes a bracha. She can show them its face at the Sivana. Tam holds in the place makes it. The male of the Goyin is clearly learning that Birchas HaTorah and Birchas HaMitzvahs. You take a little and make a bracha. You do a smatzi, you make a bracha. For those that are falling asleep, 6 35. Mele. But those are sleeping better than those that are talking. Okay. Al Kol Panim is a Gemara and Daf Yud Aleph and Masechet the Brachas that says a 4-way machlokes on what you make Birchas HaTorah. It begins with Mikra, Medrash, Mishnah, Amarova, Afla, Talmud, Tzarech, Levarach. When you learn Gemara, you still say Birchas HaTorah. Zok Rashi. Sheikar HaTorah, Sheminoi Royotz. Torah is the fundamental Torah Shabbat. Gemara, Menor Royotz. Make Birchas HaTorah according to Rava, even on Gemara. Rabbi Yoyno, on his Pirush of the Riv quotes this Gemara, but he changes from the Mount Yomer to Rava. Who knows? L'Talmud Tzarech Levarach says the Riv, Rabbi Yoyno, because Talmud is Mefarish Ikrei HaPsuk. Means every block Gemara has a pasuk. Because of Psuk, the Talmud make a bracha. Yes. Only because of the Ayin Mishpat and Mitzvah. Pasuk. Pasuk. Let's say it's Birchas HaMitzvah now. Mitzvah of Torah Shabbat. According to Ramban, we don't get Shvach V'Dov B'Siti Teros later with Torah Shabbat. Only because it's Mefarish Pasuk. So I'm good. Gemara in Shabbos on that Meches on the Aleph says, L'Lamed Shekofa Aleim Har Kagigas turn them out, overturn that. Im Tikablei Mutav and Lav Shamtin. Accept the Torah, it's great, it's not to be very. Rather, Moshe Soloveitchik, that's a good question. Why is it an overturned vat? What does it just say? Kofa Aleim Har. Lift up the mountain. It's earth. They'll be buried. 3 million people. What's this bat? What's this overturned bat? He said, he said, you can live in an overturned bat. You can live in a bat. Enough air, you get food. The dust is flat. Not living. People in America wake up Sunday morning in the winter. 4 football games. One after the other. A couple of cases of beer, hot dogs, popcorn, and pretzels. That's living. teaching us, Shom take Furashim, you're going to get buried in your vat. What you need is the Torah. Al Kopanim continues the Gemara, Omar Rovas, and say, Rabba, Mikama, the Rabba, the Rices, Rashi, did. Because we were forced into receiving the Torah, if Rebbe Yisham takes us to task and I keep the Torah, we got an excuse. Hafalim, Harkikas, we were forced. That only worked until the days of Achashverosh, Kimu Yehudim. Kimu Mashakim Kfar, the clouds parted. We saw the Yad Hashem, they joyfully and glad to be accepted. Frek Taisves, what about Nasiv and Ishma? Didn't they say Nasiv and Ishma? Why did they have to be forced to receiving the Torah? It says this. So Hashem was giving Torah with Ishak Doilo, pyrotechnics. Scared, and they changed their mind. And they forced to receive it. Medrash Tanchuma in Noach says another Pshat. Medrash Tanchuma in Noach says the Nasiv and Ishma was only on Torah Shebek Sam, which is benign and simple, and not so difficult to master the Pentecost. But to go into the Torah Shebek Peh, it's so expansive, so many halachas, and you lose sleep over it. Those that learn, the ones that love Hashem, like it says in others, that had to be forced. You know what I'm telling you now? Torah Shebek Sam with Nasiv and Ishma. Torah Shebek Peh is coupled in there. Going to the fourth king. Shumas Hadeshin brings down a stira in halacha between matzah and birkas hamazon. If somebody forces someone to eat matzah, he's yoytz the mitzvah of achilas matzah. But if somebody forces someone to eat, he doesn't recite birkas hamazon. The question is why? The question of Shumas Hadeshin is matzah has to be eaten derech achila. You can't take it from Shavuos. Lashon achila means that you have to eat it. So forcing a person to eat matzah means that you've eaten. So why, when you force a person to eat this, I know that the chayk has, I know caloric content, why don't we say that you can make a bracha? We don't. Two teruos from Shumas Hadeshin gives the secretary says. You don't give hoidah on something you were forced to receive, even though you benefited from it. But the ma'asen nesina was the kfiyah. You don't say the challah p'savot v'irachta. You don't give shvach on something you were forced to receive. The meile, according to the Ramban, what is birkas haTorah? Shvach v'yidah. On what? On being a Torah persona, on a Torah lifestyle. Nay. B'sitoi teirosei eleinu. On the giving of the Torah. The giving of the Torah was only Nasiv and Ishma according to Tanchuma on Torah Shebek Sam. Torah Shebek Peh was against your will. So the Mela says Rabbi Yoda, the only reason why in Gemara you make a bracha is because it's including Psukim. It's Mefarish and Reb Psukim. He goes off the charts, he doesn't learn like Rashi. Rashi says, Ikar HaTorah B'nai Roya, say this. According to the Rambam, the Shulchan Aruch, to the Goyim, the birkas haTorah is the birkas hamitzvah. You can't miss it. Torah Shebek. Rabbi Yoina holds like the Ramban. That birkas haTorah Shebek will go to seek the Torah say even though now it's after Kimu v'Kibbul Yehudim, but the act of giving the Torah, like the act of forcing a person to eat, you don't make Shebek v'Yidah. Here also you don't give Shebek v'Yidah. But it has to say that it's because it contains Psukim. That's maybe the Tzushtel of the Ramban between birkas hamazon and birkas haTorah. Both have to be on something that's under its seat. Rambam is the Shita, the Rambam is the Bracha says, Mashkim b'boiker liquor is b'Torah, Bein shekar b'Torah Shebek Peh, Bein shekar b'Torah Shebek Sam, make a bracha. Why the Rambam says, I think quote the Gemara. You learn Mishnah, Medrash, Gemara, Mikra. Normally he quotes the Gemara. The Rambam wants to be magish. Birkas haTorah can be recited even on Torah Shebek Peh. Vushat Chelis and Simon Mem Zayin says birkas haTorah is birkas hanenin. It's so geschmack to learn Torah, you got to make a bracha. You can't be nanin from the world. Hashem also the Adam can claim a bracha. What the bracha says? How could you taste a piece of steak without a bracha? You taste the size. Whether it's birkas hamitzvah, it's birkas shvach v'yidah, separate mitzvah. And then it's birkas haTorah Shebek Peh. He was the reason why Torah Like this week in the ona'as dvarim, not of course becoming experts in the ona'as dvarim, but refrain from it, and become experts in learning Torah with Yishmak, with the Talmud, the Torah, the Siyat, Yishmak, the Sinai, the Isha, the You're learning the ways and becoming Moshe